Hello and welcome to ALLATRA TV. Today we're having an interview with a very interesting person. A person who dedicated his life to serving people and humankind. Who also dedicated his life to building a creative society, building harmony, friendship and peace between all nations. It is great pleasure and honor for all of us. Let me introduce our guest, Dr. Arun Gandhi. Welcome to ALLATRA TV, Dr. Gandhi.
Thank you very much.
Dr. Gandhi, let me begin with a question. First of all, how would you describe your mission and what inspires you to do what you do?
Well, I think my mission is to promote peace, continue with the work that my grandfather and my father did all their lives, to promote peace and better understanding in society all over the world. So I'm doing the same thing, and I think it just came naturally to me because I saw my grandfather working and my father working for the same cause, and so I felt that I should also continue the legacy.
Mm-hmm. And what inspires you?
I think the fact that I don't have very high expectations. I believe that all I can do is go and plant seeds in the minds of people, and that's why I call myself a peace farmer. Mm-hmm. Just like a farmer goes out into the field and plants seeds and hopes and prays that he'll get a good crop, I go out and plant seeds and I hope eventually people will understand and become peaceful.
Great. Let me ask you a question, and we want to talk about religions, if you don't mind. Preparing for the interview, we found information that Dr. Arun Gandhi considers himself to be a Hindu, but expresses universal views. From your point of view, what are the universal grains for all religions?
I think it's all religions are ultimately based on love, understanding, respect, and appreciation of people, of humanity. And unfortunately, today in modern world, religion is promoting more hate, division in people rather than bringing people together. And my grandfather used to say that religion is like climbing a mountain. We are ultimately all going to the same peak. So why should it matter to anybody which side of the mountain we choose to climb on from? I think if we have that kind of attitude towards religion, then we will accept each other as fellow human beings, and all of us are in search of truth, the ultimate truth, and so it will become better and we can create more harmony.
Mm-hmm. So universal grain for all religions is first of all love, right?
Absolutely. Love and respect and understanding.
Love, respect and understanding. These are very, very important things for all people who live in this world.
Yes.
And if all people share the same idea that love, harmony, friendship, support, understanding would be then no miscommunication, let's say.
Yes, unfortunately, we human beings have created too many divisions. We have national divisions and race divisions and color divisions and all religious divisions. We have divided humanity so much that we can't, come together again. And so what we need to do is forget those divisions and try to cement each other and come closer together.
Let me ask you also, Dr. Gandhi, you're a member of the board Emeriti of the Parliament of the World's Religions. On the website of the Parliament of World's Religions, we found information that it seeks to promote interreligious harmony. From your point of view, what is interreligious harmony and how important it is for people to know about common spiritual grains which align in the basis of all religion teaches of the world.
I think interreligion harmony is where we can understand each other and we can appreciate each other, accept the fact that we choose to go different ways, but we ultimately are planning to reach the same stage. So if we have that kind of understanding between all the different religions, then we will have respect. I don't like tolerance. I don't like religious tolerance or racial tolerance, because tolerance means that we don't necessarily have to respect the other person. We just tolerate the other person.
And how important is it for all people to know about common spiritual grains in all religions which align in the basis of all spiritual teachings?
I think it's very important that we understand who we are and what we are and why are we here on earth. We have a very wrong impression of our existence on earth. We think that it's just we have to live from birth to death, and all that we do during our adult life is try to make more money. And there is more to life than just making money. We need to create a community, we need to create harmony and peace in the world, and our existence in the world should benefit the community and not just benefit ourselves by making more and more money.
Thank you very much. Dr. Gandhi, let me ask you the following question. Preparing for the interview and reading your biography, we found some interesting information about your childhood. Let me read out a little passage. Here's what we found. Arun Gandhi grew up on his grandfather's ashram, a small remote settlement in South Africa. Growing up, Gandhi had the advantage of education over the illiterate farm families who worked the surrounding fields, for which his grandfather urged him to play after school with the neighbor children in order, then a quotation, to learn what it was like to live in poverty, end of quotation, as well as to teach those children what he learned in class each day, which Gandhi saw was, the beginning of quotation, the most creative and enlightening experience for me, end of quotation. Eventually, crowds of children and their parents started showing up for his lessons, which is when Gandhi learned about compassion and the need to share. Let me ask you about the quotation, learn what it was like to live in poverty. From your point of view, Dr. Gandhi, why your grandfather wanted you to get this experience?
I think because, we in the modern world, because we have become very materialistic, we have created a division between people, those who are successful and very rich, and those who are not successful and living in poverty. And the only way we can ensure that everybody lives a decent life is for people who are very rich to scale down their life, to help those who are at the bottom to raise themselves up, to create that kind of equal society. And that can be created only through compassion, not by law. So it has to be through compassion, through people's understanding and people's respect and people's responsibility to bring about that community feeling.
Let me ask you also, I mentioned in the passage that you had to teach those children what you learned in class each day. From your point of view, what was, and the quotation, the most creative and enlightening experience? Tell us please more about it. What was the most creative and enlightening for you in this experience?
Well, until then I just accepted poor people. I didn't realize that they couldn't get education because they didn't have the means to go to a school and all that. And when I started teaching them what I learned in school, I found how much they wanted to learn and how much they wanted to improve their lives. And it was an amazing experience for me to at that age to understand and the difficulties of people, and try to do something to help them.
What did you feel at this moment when you had a chance and when you were sharing knowledge you received from school with those children? What did you feel at this moment?
The feeling that I had was I was very happy that they were happy and that they were benefiting from what I was doing. So it was a very simple thing. It just made me feel very happy.
Dr. Gandhi, could you tell us what peace and peace building means for you?
Peace means creating harmony in society, and peace building is when we can do something to bring about that harmony in society. The only way we can bring harmony in society is by loving and respecting and appreciating each other and trying to help each other through their difficulties.
If people unite, yes, they can overcome any problems, they can overcome any difficulties, whatever happens to them, they can do it if they do it together. So the key thing is in unity of people.
Yeah.
Brilliant. But again, you need to be an example, you need to show changes, positive changes that you want to implement in the world, right?
Yes, it's true.
How can we become peaceful within ourselves?
Well, we have to create that mindset. We have to create the compassion people, we have to create understanding of people. We have to be satisfied with what we have instead of being greedy and wanting more and more and more. So it's a personal transformation that has to take place by our own efforts.
Dr. Gandhi, from your biography we learned that when you were 12, your parents decided to send you to India, where the next 18 months you spent staying with your grandfather. Tell us please, what was the first lesson you've learned from your grandfather?
I learned about anger. So he taught me that anger is a good thing. It's not something that we should abuse. It is something that we can channel and use that energy for solving problems and helping humanity rather than causing violence. And he taught me ways in which to do this, and I did it, and it helped me a great deal.
Can you share with us your experience, for example, how to transform anger into other emotion or feeling?
Well, I think there are two main things that we need to do, and one of them is that we need to have control over our mind. We don't do anything to have control over the mind. So our mind is very weak, and like the Buddhists say, our mind is like a monkey jumping around in the tree from here to there. And that is because we have not trained our mind to be under our control. We do a lot of physical exercises because we are very conscious of having a good, healthy, strong body. But we don't have any mental exercises to have a good, strong mind. And what he made me do was to sit quietly in a room for a few minutes every day and hold a flower in front of me and look at that for 1 full minute and concentrate on that, and then close my eyes and see how long I could keep that image in my mind. In the beginning, I found that the moment I closed my eyes, the image vanished. But when I began to do this exercise regularly every day, I found that I could keep that image longer and longer in my mind. And to that extent, my mind was coming under my control. So anytime I faced a crisis, my mind wouldn't, just blow up like an ordinary person would blow. I would be able to control my mind, control my emotions, and learn to channel that energy constructively. So that is first part of the lesson. The second part of the lesson is that we have to come to that understanding that abusing anger is only going to cause more violence, and it doesn't solve anything. So we got to have that mindset of changing ourselves and our attitudes.
Let me read a quotation from the book ALLATRA. In the book it says that the battlefield of good and evil is first of all a human mind. Do you agree that all wars of good and evil first of all starts in our head, on the battlefield of consciousness of our mind?
Yes, it is. We are constantly faced with this challenge every day of our life between making the right choices, between good and evil, or between good and bad, or whatever. We have to face this constantly in life, and if we don't learn to make the right choices, then we end up doing the wrong thing. So it is very important that we learn, and that can happen only if we have that control over the mind.
So all wars begin first of all within the person, not outside but inside of any person.
That is why Gandhi said that we have to be the change we wish to see in the world. It has to begin with each individual. If we don't change, the world is not going to change. And that change can't come by law. It has to come from understanding by the people themselves.
Dr. Gandhi, from your point of view, how can people learn to deal with their negative thoughts and learn how to keep themselves in order? Can you share with us your experience, please?
Well, I think because over the years, we have lived a materialistic lifestyle, and that has created a whole culture of violence. That over the years, the culture of violence has dominated our thinking, our speech, our entertainment, our sports, our religion, our economics. Everything is violent. Because everything is based on greed. Everything is about selfishness, about how much we can gain for ourselves. So when we have that kind of mindset, then we are always exploiting other people to get what we want. When we want to make more money or something, we are exploiting other people, and it's destroying our humanity. So civilization, it should be measured by our ability to bring people together. Today we are focused more on creating strong armies and creating weapons of mass destruction and think that we can protect ourselves. But no country in the world, however powerful it may be, can protect itself if the rest of the world is going down the drain. So the only stability and security of any country depends entirely on the stability and security of the whole world.
Dr. Gandhi, if we began already talking about the relationship between people, and like it was mentioned already, we're living in the world of consuming economy, and this attitude like consumerism reflects on the whole society. Relationship between people of different nations, friends, even in the family. From your point of view, what should be done in order to change the vector of today's civilization development from consumerism to creative?
I think we need to understand that consumerism is making us very greedy and selfish, and that we need to change our attitudes and think about other people. But what we need to do is be more constructive and work out of compassion. So when we work out of compassion, then we get involved in trying to find out why is this person not capable of taking care of himself or herself, and what kind of strengths do that person have, so that we can help that person realize that they are able to do things for themselves, helping them realize their own potential. Rebuilt their self-respect and self-confidence and made them realize that they could do things for themselves. They didn't have to depend on society or somebody else to do for them.
But again, you need to begin with yourselves, right? To be the change.
Again, it all
Yes.
comes down to beginning with yourself. Our existence should be, should leave our society or our community a little better than it used to be. So, having more compassion and more love and respect, not just our own people, but for all people around us.
Dr. Gandhi, let me ask you the next question, please. What are the principles of good relationship between people?
Relationships must be built on respect, understanding, acceptance, and appreciation. We have to respect ourselves and respect each other and respect our connection with all of creation. Today in modern society, we are brought up to believe that we are independent individuals and we can do whatever we like and it's nobody's business. Mm-hmm. And that is not right, because we are all interconnected and interrelated, not only as human beings but with all of nature. Because even as human beings, when we destroy nature, we are destroying our own homes. We are not here to live from birth to death. We are here for a purpose. Today we have so many divisions between people, and we look at them not as human beings but as Christians or Muslims or black or white or all these classifications. We don't need all that. We need to be human beings. Whatever our color and shape or beliefs may be, we are all human beings. We are all here together to do something together.
This is exactly what we actually do in our ALLATRA International Public Movement. One of the main goals is to restore human values based on common human values, based on common spiritual values, to restore and show things which unite people, not separate but unite people. Showing examples of good that people do regardless of any race, language barriers, religious affiliations, just things that unite people, first of all. I wanted to read a phrase which is very popular and motivates us also in our ALLATRA International Public Movement. And here it is. Do you agree that all people have one common place of living, the earth, one nationality, humankind, and one common value, life?
Yes, I do. I think all of us, the only values are important are love, respect, understanding, appreciation. And if we allow that positive values to dominate our thinking and our attitudes, we will be very different people.
Dr. Gandhi, I want to read out of quote which belongs to your grandfather. Once he said, "Don't wait for changes, be the change you want to see in the world." How have you implemented it in your life?
Well, I've tried to do whatever I can to help society, to change myself, to change my attitudes and beliefs, and it's a constant effort.
Do you agree that in order to create a society that will live in harmony, peace, friendship, and mutual understanding, it must become a way of life for each person?
Yeah, I think it is important that we all agree to it and all, accept that kind of life. And it's not impossible to achieve, because if you see that if you react with love and respect towards people, they respond with the same love and respect.
Dr. Gandhi, if you had a chance to send the message to the whole world, what would you say?
I would say that we can all live in peace and harmony if we all begin to create that, and that's the only way we can live a civilized way of life.
Dr. Gandhi, what would you like to wish to all ALLATRA participants and those millions of people who will be watching us?
Well, I hope that all of them will understand that peace and harmony is possible, and that if each one of us makes it part of their life and live it, then you imagine what millions of people can do. And that is how the wave of peace and harmony will spread.
Thank you very much. Do you have plans to be in Kiev again?
I was there last year on a holiday. Nothing planned so far, but I might even turn up, I don't know.
Okay, then using this opportunity, we kindly invite you to come to Kiev. We'll show you around, tell you more about our ALLATRA International Public Movement, and we'll be happy to meet you personally, of course, and communicate more. And
I look forward to that.
thank you very much. We too. We too. Well, thank you very much for your time and for this wonderful communication. Thank you for sharing us with your experience, life experience, and valuable information that you shared with us today. Thank you very much, Dr. Gandhi.
Thank you. It was a great pleasure, and I'm very happy to share with all of you.
Thank you very much.
Thank
you.
you.
And
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
bye.